All right, we're live. Rahul Bats.
Rahubat, everyone.
Um, so I guess you want to talk. Do you want to talk? I know we didn't script anything or whatever, but I was just talking real quick. Today's topic is the growth in divine love and how to implement that in your life. Um, did you want to talk about real quick about some things that we're doing at WAEO Radio? C-Chat? I'm sorry. This is Fatima, that's C-Chat from Atlantis Awakes, of Atlantis Awakes.
Oh yeah, sure. So, this segment, is part of our show called Temple of Ma'at, and basically on this show, it's going to be a lot about healing, about growth, becoming, like Fatima, you always say, becoming the best version of yourself. And I think today's topic, Ashuk, or, to simply put it, divine love, is a great way to start, our Temple of Ma'at, because that's kind of like a foundation, um, in order to grow yourself. You, the opposite of divine love is, hate, all this, negativity, disagreeableness. Like, that's not how you grow. You know what I mean? And, when I just think of Ashuk, you think of growth, you think of love, like, like how a mother would nurture her child. When you nurture a child, then the child will grow. And that's kind of how I feel Ashuk is. It's like like a warm blanket of love around you to help comfort you, to support you, and everything that you do. And it's always all around you. you know some people just don't realize that. And you know, as Fatima and Sisha of the Temple of Ma'at, we're going to help people heal, utilize this power of Ashuk, divine love, um, in your everyday actions, to find who you are, to go deep within yourself, to find the core of yourself. Because really, if you look at everything, the core of it is Ashuk, because we were all created out of divine love. And that's kind of, I guess, what the gist of Temple of Ma'at would be, if you want to add on anything about that.
As you covered it.
Okay.
But that's the thing. Like you have to, like you said, it's always present. It never ever stops. So that ashuk is in everything,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's on different levels. The divine love is the all in all, but the all in all has parts. See, when the one that manifests or realizes their divine love or ashuk sees the healing aspect in everyone or everything. Everything
Mm-hmm.
becomes a healing, no matter if it's destruction or not. We see rain can be tormenting to some people, but also rain is water and it also has a healing factor. So that is the sound right reasoning. I shook. It's to heal those with tones. And we know one of the ways that we heal people is with the tone of words, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And those tones and a lot of people go and depending on their vibration or their frequency is what they get their healing from the tone. And the healing, it may not even be healing, it may be destruction, and destruction has to happen sometimes for things to heal.
Exactly. To add on to that, like you said about the example of the rain, when I think also like sacrifices, sometimes you do have to go through the muck and mire, you do have to get rained on. And I kind of I would say like life is kind of like you're like a seed and like you turn into a flower, but in order for a flower seed to turn into a flower, you have to get rained on. You know, your fertilizer and your compost is, you know, made out of rotten stuff, and dirt is, you know, made out of sometimes, you know, poo and just nasty stuff, right? But that gives the plant nutrients, and it helps the plant grow into a beautiful flower. So you, sometimes you need to go through that, you know, muck and mire to become that beautiful flower. And you see in the core of that, that's a shoot, because you need that experience. You need to go through these things in order to become the best. You need to find yourself, and these experiences help you
Mm-hmm.
find your true self.
Yeah. And that's the view of the view of it is healing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I think yesterday we were kind of talking about. I was telling you I wanted to do a show on love, because is that love and how people overstand it, because it's not an understanding to them, because that's their reality, that's their overstanding, is in the absence of love. Their love is a possession. So when they hear these love songs, that's why I was talking about the tones earlier, because even also music is a symphony of your mind. It draws you into their reality. If someone is talking about my man cheated on me in a song and I gotta go, I gotta crack them up there, that becomes their reality, depending on the tone of their own thoughts. That love has been like perverted. So when people talk about divine love, they have no clue. It's just a word,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not in a reality, because the illusion of love at which they push in TV doesn't have anything to do with sex, size. It's the mind, and the mind is not anything physical.
Exactly.
So yeah, so your mind, you have to control your mind, your thoughts, to even tap into it. Like, see how you can, it's no, you don't even have to argue.
Yeah.
You don't have to, nothing.
And
Well,
yeah, and to add on to that, about how your mind is, it's not all physical. You know, for me and my emperor talking about this the other day as well. You know, we saw outside of a store, this pizza shop um puts out free pizza for someone who's hungry to take, you know, outside their door right after they close. And we are talking about, you know, um for example, a vegan person, you know, who doesn't eat meat, who doesn't do any animal products, would be like, oh, I wouldn't touch that, I wouldn't give that out to someone, um you know, who's hungry because it has animal products on it. But if you look at the ashuk behind it, you know, someone who's hungry, if you look past the physical of it,
mm-hmm.
someone who's hungry would really need that. And a person who's really hungry, they're hungry, it doesn't really matter what it is, they're really hungry, you know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
need to survive, and the streets are hard. And if you, you know, you give that food to someone, that's an act of divine love. And it doesn't, you know, you really do sometimes do want to think about people's health or whatever. At the same time, you know, if they're hungry, they're hungry. So we're just thinking about, you know, it doesn't really matter what it is, it's more of like the action and the
Mm-hmm.
feeling behind it. Not, you can't, not more of the thinking behind it, but the feeling behind it.
It is. It's an action word. It's not. That's why
Mm-hmm.
your thoughts, your thinking, it's all actions.
Mm-hmm.
Like whatever is on your mind is, yup, it's all action. It's not words,
Mm-hmm.
but words can be actions. You know, it's all yeah, action. So that's right. Like,
It's all mind, because everything starts in the mind before it
yeah,
manifests outwardly.
yeah. You were saying something.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know if it cut off or not, but I was just saying, everything starts in the mind before it manifests outwardly.
Yeah.
So I was saying all is mind.
All is mind. So that's where, and then we know that our minds is connected to the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Our mind is it's everything in the universe, galaxies, whatever, is inside of our body. I don't know. I was hearing a brother talk about. I was listening to a brother talk about. He said a little bit that we're in a sun cycle, the new sun cycle, and he was talking about the sun cycle. But in my mind, I said, well, all of everything is in us. The sun,
Mm-hmm.
the star systems. And really, if we tap into ourselves correctly, we we absolutely, if the sun and everything is in us, control, not on a, like a crazy way, but we control the weather patterns.
Mm-hmm.
If we are part of we are the universe, not ether, melanin, you know. So to me,
Mm-hmm.
we tap into that divine love, the ashug, and we all, vibrate on that, then we could do a lot of. I think it was Annie talking about it, if I'm not mistaken. We can
Yeah, he
change,
was.
yeah, change a lot with just that mind vibration.
Exactly. Like, if you see the world right now, there's a lot of chaos, and not necessarily chaos is bad, but at the same time, a lot of people are out of their minds and they're not in tune, and just the stress and the negativity, you could see it out in the weather patterns. There's so much, um, you know, hurricanes, wildfires, natural disasters that are manifesting into the physical.
Hmm.
And like you said, it all starts in the mind. So imagine if we tap into that ashuk, tap into that divine love as a collective,
Hmm.
not just as individuals. We should see how the world might change, how Mother Earth or Tiamat or whatever you want to call it, how she would react to our healing instead of putting poison into the earth, instead of doing all these wars, and instead of being out of our minds, being getting in tune with nature again, and the shuk of nature, because nature always provides. Nature is nurture. It always provides. So as we are part of nature and become in tune with nature and start providing more, imagine imagine the change that would happen in the world. Sorry,
Yeah,
imagine the change that will happen in the world just by utilizing that power in everything we do.
yeah, that mind power.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I was just thinking on a minimal level. Okay, people, a lot of people are descended from slaves, and you can read about it, or those that don't know. For those that don't know, but slavery was more mental than physical. They had to physically, uh, trap their bodies, but they also did a lot of mental torture with hanging each other, whipping. Like it was mental, even though it was a physical act. It was mental. It was scare tactics. Even they took the Bible and changed it so that they could, if God thinks this way, then fear tactics once again. So that fear had created an underculture or whatever, but that fear is still what causes the division and on many levels. Because then it's the absence of love. Because how can someone asked me, this is associated all together, but someone asked me what would I do if I was at a family's house and they started to pray? Would I leave? And I said no. And they kind of got offended when I said no. I said, why? They're doing a peaceful act. Even though I'm not, their understanding is not my overstanding, but they're doing a peaceful act to make their day better.
Mm-hmm.
Why would I be offended by that? This is the eye. This is the third eye. The third eye is beyond the physical eye. This is when you tap into divine love or Ashu.
Mm-hmm.
And when you can see what's healing in them. And you know, and then you'll be able what's destroying them too.
Yep. And to add on to your wisdom, I also like to call the third eye your mind's eye as well, because that's really the eye you see with. Your physical eyes aren't the ones you really see with. It's your mind's eye that you truly see with.
Right. You create the projection in your mind's eye, and really your physical eyes. Well, you create it in your mind's eye, and then your physical eyes is the projection. It's still a
Exactly.
physical, still a spiritual thought, regardless if you are aware of it or not. Everything you see is a projection from your mind, which creates your reality, which shapes your reality, which shapes whatever. How you view people, how you smell things, how you touch things.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to, I'm saying, going back to the slavery part, you know, that division spirit, the house nigga. I mean, if you want to look at the house nigga, in the field nigga, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what spirituality has become. Like, okay, I'm here now. I don't. So you know, you stupid fools, you're doing this. No,
Yeah.
I don't want to like to bring up the master teacher, but you have to, because this is what Nuwabu was. He took every school of thought
Mm-hmm.
and broke it up, broke it down, whatever. And not only that, he gave you the tools to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't hear him arguing. He was
Yeah.
even.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, sis.
Okay, I didn't mean to cut off your wisdom, but you were dropping some serious knowledge and wisdom, and it was very inspiring. But I wanted to add on when you talked about fear. Um, I guess this is the best way I could put it. Like in, I guess, a religious mindset, or in religion, especially Christianity, they teach you to fear the devil,
Mm-hmm.
or the so-called devil, or disagreeable forces or negative forces. But in Nuwabu, um, I feel like you have more inspiration to fight the devil using ashuk, using righteousness, instead of fearing it, instead of avoiding it, instead of dodging it. We go at it head on, but we don't. It's not like more of like a physical battle. It's more of like a mental and spiritual
Spiritual.
battle in ashuk. And
Yeah.
if you encompass your body, if you feel your body, your not only your physical body, your mind, your spirit, in divine love, like you
Mm-hmm.
can't let anything hurt you. Like the devil can't penetrate inside you, because the devil hates that stuff. They hate
Mm-hmm.
seeing you righteous. They hate seeing you smile. They hate seeing you that. And that's how you trap the devil. That's how you trap the disagreeable forces, by that divine love.
Right.
Because then they have nowhere to go. If everyone's encompassing divine love, then where can the devil go? It can't take over any souls. It can't, you know, take over anyone's actions. It can't
Mm-hmm.
slander you. It can't beat you down, because you have a shoot. That's the ultimate sword,
Mm-hmm.
along with, truth and wisdom, but, as a foundation in a shoot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta, you gotta be. You know what I like? It's because you realize that the devil is you,
Mm-hmm.
not anything outside of you. When you because you control your thoughts, even if it's a whisperer. You know what I mean? It's in Islam what they said with the shaitan. The shaitan
Mm-hmm.
comes in and whisper, and then the whisper becomes louder, and then if you don't seek refuge at that point, then you know. So I understood it in another way. You whisper to yourself. The whisper is the suggestion of the thought, and the thought, you know, then it comes. Like your mind tells you what to think before you think it. That's the whisper, because it's really silent. It's soft. You suggest it to yourself. So the
Mm-hmm.
controlling of the mind first will allow you to ascend into a higher self.
Mm-hmm. And I have a question to build upon it. Like, how would you, to the audience, um, what kind of steps does someone need to take to in order to control their mind?
Well, well, I would say a lot of people aren't aware of how they think or their thought processes throughout the day. I would take time to myself and not just meditate, but I would write down my thoughts that I remember throughout the day, whether they be negative or positive. That would make it real to you first. Not just, oh yeah, I thought of this bad thing, but really write it down to make it real to you so you can see the weight of your thoughts, be it they negative or positive. And not saying that the negative and positive are good and bad, but you might be it might be something in your reality that you're overlooking because of your constant negative thoughts. Like, say if someone is at work all day and the people at work are getting on their nerves, and then when they go outside for lunch, it's very busy, so they got to hustle and bustle to get some lunch, then get back, they feel tired, then they frustrated, they got to go. It's just a lot. Like then they could have a good time at work and they was happy to see someone or whatever at home or whatever. That would be the first thing I would do is write down to make them real. We're
Mm-hmm.
always in our mind talking to ourselves, whether we would accept it or not. So write down your speech to yourself first.
Mm-hmm.
Write down your social interactions, what other people are saying around you. Are they always negative? Or are they positive? Or, how many times did you laugh today? And not saying that you can't be upset either. See, people just want to do the good stuff, but it's okay to be sad or recognize sadness, but you don't have to become sadness.
Mm-hmm. And to add on to your wisdom about, writing things down, that's actually like a really good way to see yourself grow, like to keep a journal, because you can reflect back on previous thoughts, previous actions, how far you've come. You know, that's how I like to keep journals. I like to look at it like I like to look at journals from when I was young, and I could like to see like, wow, I was thinking this way, now I'm thinking that way. Like you see your growth. So like you said, it's good to have those journals, those reminders, to see where you were and to see where you are now.
Hmm. I agree. I mean, even what me, I mean, I'm not saying it's something that I didn't utilize as well. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times I don't make it seem that, I didn't utilize the things myself. I, um, I, um, I utilized it. I had lost my son, you know, physical death. And that's something hard for any mother. We can't even imagine, losing our child. Or, I think I could even imagine you losing my mother more than losing my child. And I had to tap into the self to heal myself. Of course, when you lose a baby, a child, or something, they first start offering you medication and stuff, because they say, yeah, just in case, no, just in case my mind is always ready for the war. So I really had to write down um, my feelings and the good things and the bad things. I really had to soul search to grow.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
That's really powerful, sister.
Yeah, because it was you know what, it's and just with that, because it was just not even the thing. What happened was devastating, but also how people reacted, because it's not something they want to deal with, death. So they would say things to me like, you'll be all right. Yeah, eventually. But right now I'm sad. Or if I would cry. They would say, no, don't cry. Why? You know what I mean? They were afraid of my reaction because it tapped into something in them. So that made me tap into myself more. I had to. Because it was a nobody to talk to. Nobody wanted to talk to. Even my husband, I thought it was too much for him. He was like, it's just too much, babe. You know, so even with that, and he's my best friend. So I talked to him about everything. And just that one thing. And my spirituality, if people want to call it that, I don't even like to use that word, but it grew so much from that pain. So also pain is healing. I used to think, I used to be one of those, that want to feel any pain. Not before then, but that was like a grand pain. And like, I never wanted to feel pain, but pain is healing too. That's why it's called growing pains. Babies go through it,
Mm-hmm.
teething. It's beneficial.
Mm-hmm. Or like, I like to use the analogy, not to cut off your wisdom, but
No, you're good.
when you're working out, you're building up like a bodybuilder's building up their muscles tear, right? The muscles need to
Yeah.
tear and rebuild in order to get stronger. And it hurts like once you work out that one day and you're really sore, but then after a couple of days you become stronger and you you get to add on more weights, or you can run a longer distance. you know
Mm,
your your body needs to break down for it to build up, kind of like your soul, kind of like your spirit, your mind. It needs to break down to build itself back up again. But in the process, you build a stronger foundation for yourself. So next time through that experience, if you ever experience something similar to it, you have a stronger mind. You know what it's like. It's about that experience as well. Experience is really important. And when you were talking about, it was a battle within yourself, within your mind, I totally know how that feels, when you lose someone so close to you, or even just losses in general. It like what people said on the outside, it honestly, like, it helped in a little bit, but it was more like a band-aid. But it wasn't like the remedy. It was more like I had to help myself. Like
right.
nothing on the outside could have helped me. I had to help myself get out of that mindset, out of depression or anxiety, or whatever you want to, whatever
Yeah.
this psychological community wants to call it. Like,
Yeah.
just that battle within yourself, that constant battle. I totally know how that feels like. But once you get out of it, you're like, wow, it's so refreshing. It's like a new day. You wake up to a new, like, sun, or like, I don't know how to describe it in words, but with the feeling of it, um it's just a great feeling of overcoming,
Yes.
like you
Like,
like you
yeah.
finally reach the top of the mountain in a way.
Yes. And you step into yourself and you did
Hmm.
it on your own. Like, it just so, it's just so deep. I don't, but that goes back to, that was like a example I use, for the divine love. Like, you, you gotta see everything with that view, period. Whether it's something you like or you don't like. It really was, I got it in me. That's what I started telling myself. And I wrote it down. I got it in me to heal me. And
Hmm.
I realized that people with that love, not divine love, but love, it's a possession now. Well, if you say you love someone, you know what I mean? And then it even made me look at that. Like, I was going to my husband, with people, to ask him, like, "Babe, what did it do? Like, I just want to feel better." And there wasn't nothing wrong with hugs and all of that. But really, I was looking for something outside of myself to heal me when I'm inside of myself and outside of myself. So that possession, that love make people like, oh, you can't have any. That's why I like. you and Annie, y'all, you remind me of me and Jermaine. Like it ain't um any of that lower energy, lower vibrational stuff like jealousy. You know, like he can't say anything to another woman, but because you know that he talks, he speaks, he walks in divine love, and you too.
Exactly. Thank you so
So,
much. Yeah, I see
yeah,
that in you guys too.
yep. So that's you know, what people need to really you know let go of that possession and I think I was talking to you about this. My nephew, he called me and he was talking about his girlfriend, and he wanted me to help him. I was like, well, he works, he goes to school, and after work in school, she wants to talk to him, but he said like he'll take care of things in the house or whatever, and he'll get to her whenever he's finished. And she was like, well, I guess I don't matter. I was like, well, you didn't look at the man's day. Like, what you need a hobby. That's what you need. So, just tap into yourself. Look for things in yourself where you matter first. And then whatever you feel about yourself you will attract. But that's you can't make people love you or think about you. You ain't even thinking about yourself. And that's that lower level of love that we as a people need to heal. Because that ain't it.
Mm-hmm.
And all of the reality TV shows and all of that surrounds that idea, you need to either be watching that to heal yourself or not to be watching it at all. Those tones,
Yeah, like,
go
mm-hmm.
ahead, sis. I'm sorry.
Oh, so, no, I don't mean to cut you off your wisdom, but to add on to what you're saying, you know, we like to say we want to do things that are life giving, not life taking. Things that give you life. Like if that reality show is going to give you life, is going to inspire you, then by means go do it. But like you said, if it's not, cut it out of your life. If it has no, if it's just going to be life taking, if it's just going to drain you, if it's just going to drain your energy, don't do it. Don't hang out with those entities. Don't um put those things in your life or in your mind. You want to put life giving things.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of, not in a spooky type of way, but there's a lot of vampires out there that like to suck your energy, that like
Yeah.
to that are hungry for your energy, and you want to stay away from those people. You want to be surround yourself with people that are going to give you life, that are going to support you, that are going to, even if you fall, they're going to pick you right back up. Positive people around you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that's just what I wanted to add. um you can keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. You have to. But the thing is, when your mind frequency matches whatever your mind frequency is, your reality will match. So if you are always negative in your mind, in your physical, you try to seem like you positive. Guess what? You can't fake it to make it. You're going to attract that negative energy in physical form in your life. So they'll be just like you. They'll look on the nice on the outside, like they're positive, dreadlocks and everything, and then they'll be they'll be negative energy vampires inside. Because you could be an energy vampire. Since we even look at vampires, not all vampires are bad. Some vampires, heal. They give up the meat. They don't want to suck blood. They try to find something else. You know what I'm saying? And then they walk around trying to get other vampires to live like them. So, it depends on how you want to look at it. So, whatever light that shines within is what you're going to reflect outside and attract. You don't attract opposite. You attract the same frequency, the same vibration. So whatever you are the matter. You are the light. All lights aren't bright either. Darkness is light, and darkness isn't even negative, but it's different hues of light. So whatever your mind is on, that's what you will attract. So people get trapped up into the fantasy love, the illusion of love, like Cinderella. See, we need to develop our own. That's why we do it. We doing what we do because we need to do because we teach this to the babies at an early age about Cinderella, Snow White. All of this illusion of just and we don't. And it's an adult thing. Really, it's really not for children
Yeah.
because an adult.
Mm-hmm.
And we feed these ideas to our girls from a young age. I was even the ideas of the love of yourself and your images. 'Cause now I see like people posting pictures about natural hair, but what's wrong with short natural hair? It's still natural. Why does your hair have to be long for it to be deemed beautiful?
That's a good
Because of
point.
yeah, these old images of Rapunzel and let down your long, beautiful. We need that. All of that is mental slavery. All of that is a sleep spell.
Yep.
That's why it's important to me to create like what you guys have. You guys have Atlantis Awake Publications. You guys have information for everybody to read. You also doing the cards, right? The flashcards for children. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you're getting the books together to create a library on your website. To me, I always thought that was always beautiful because you're creating a university in the universe.
Or a multiversity.
Or multiversity. And that's why people look at Alien and Seas and be like, what's this about? Like, but it's really about being yourself, being you, being secure in yourself. Who else you gonna be? And being the best version of yourself. Because really, nobody actually really wants to live in disharmony. That's why people fight over love and stuff like that and loyalty because they want that.
Mm-hmm. And when you were to add on to your wisdom, um, kind of backtrack a little bit when you're talking about the children, it's really there's a lot of programming going on, like you said, with the movies, Disney, that it's all programming.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, there's a negative and a positive to everything. So there's negative programming and then there's positive programming.
Mm-hmm.
So what we are doing, as WAEO Radio, as Temple of Ma'at, right, as Alien MCs, as Atlantis Awakes Publications, we are implementing positive programming to the masses. We're media, we're publication, we're coming out with books, we're coming out with cartoons, we're coming out with children's stories, and it's going to be a positive programming for all ages. And that's the beauty of what we're doing. It's kind of like, people say like the Illuminati controls everything. We're going to be the new Illuminati. We're going to
All right, Illuminati,
yeah,
the real one.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we
I
are.
like how you put things in that perspective. Like you said, with the vampires, there's negative, there's disagreeable, and there's agreeable. Like there's two sides to everything. You can every topic, aspect, character, object. There's two sides to everything you can see, and I really like how you put that into that perspective.
Yeah, yeah. But we always got to deal with many levels. I think sometimes, and unbalancement is a lot of a lot of all our problems, but sometimes we go straight to the, some people, and I'm not knocking anybody, or making fun, but I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. But like they want to go straight to the spirituality. I'm in Lil. I'm the guardian of the sea or whatever. But you can't even communicate. You know what I'm saying? On a basic level, like you don't never have to open, and I don't knock books, but you have to open your own. Like prove it to yourself. No, nobody had to understand that. I don't think that if we read about Inky, Enlil, Mother Ninti, any of those beings in the holy tablets, if we go into the Bible, the Quran, Al Qadr, whatever, they ain't walking around saying, "I'm Jesus."
Yeah. They're they're
No,
just they are who they are. I am that I am. We are that we are. Like,
I am that I am,
yeah.
and that manifests. I think I shared something that I wrote last year. Like whatever you say behind that shapes your reality. I am sad. Even if you abbreviate it, I'm sad. You're going to become sad. You're telling yourself to do it.
Exactly. And words are really powerful. Like, whatever you speak out, it shall be. If you're constantly speaking, hate, negativity, that's what your life's going to be filled with. But if you constantly tell yourself, even if you're going through some rough times, if you constantly say, um, you know, I am divine love, I
Mm-hmm.
am all, I am part of the all, our affirmations that we like to say, um, you know, it empowers you,
Mm-hmm.
whether or not subconsciously, consciously, spiritually. It's all really interconnected. Even though everything starts in the mind, the physical, the spiritual, the mental, it's all interconnected and simultaneously happening at the same time. And each level affects each level. You can't really have one level without another level, or one vibration without another vibration, one frequency without a vibration. You have to have a low frequency to have a high frequency, and you have to have a high frequency, you have to have a low frequency. It all kind of works in a balance.
Right. And then, yeah, you have to have the high and the low to balance. So, like you were saying earlier about trapping the devil in you. But even that energy of, if we, use our reason, the energy of the shaitan, the devil, the adverse energy, or whatever, it was created from divine love.
Mm-hmm.
So we gotta trap that part of ourselves to understand the other part of ourselves. But you have to, if you trap something, you gotta study it. Ain't nobody making no traps. You don't make no traps for something you don't know about. Even if it's a mouse, let's think about it on a physical level. If it's a mouse, if roaches, whatever, you gotta know what the mouse come out. You start, they run like on the corner or whatever, and so you start putting the traps in the corner, or you put some peanut butter on it, you know, on the trap. So you have to know that devil to trap the devil. You just can't be like, oh namaste, trap the devil.
Yeah.
You gotta master that devil
Yeah.
in you.
Mm-hmm. 720.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying going back to your thoughts. Them thoughts that that you gather in your mind all day.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of the sayings that we say. Everyone, if you're Muslim, you say Assalamu alaikum. The peace of the Most High upon you. Rahubat, true peace. Islam, all of those are based on peace,
Mm-hmm.
which is based on a shug, divine love. Why are we devils? If we're just saying these words and we're not utilizing them in our everyday,
Mm-hmm.
Even if you look at the story of the Prophet Muhammad, he used divine love. He didn't get upset. He just kept preaching his word. He was saying what he was saying. You know, if somebody want to deal with that. You know what I mean? The
Mm-hmm.
people were upset that he was doing what he was doing. And when it was time, he fought back. He went to war.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not just one way. It's just not you. But see, he had to know where they was at. And then during war, he still, took time and he spent time with his wife on the battlefield.
Mm-hmm.
Because he understood women too. Some women be mad because you went to war. You know. But I'm just saying that to say that it's always a balance and just do for whatever tone. So sometimes people do need a little bit. No, you want to listen. And then sometimes it's be let me walk away and we come back and we get to it. And sometimes people have to learn on their own. But that divine spirit, which is love, Ashuk, will heal everything you walk by. Animals would start wanting to sit on your shoulders, come up to you.
Mm-hmm.
Babies just stare at you when you walk in the room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ashuk is really the highest vibration you can achieve. It's that green light. It's that green crystal essence.
Mm-hmm.
It's the opposite of the amber light, which is a low vibration of disagreeableness. Like you said, we need a balance of both.
Mm-hmm.
But that divine light, that green light is healing. The color green, when you think of the color green, I think of plants, leaves, trees. Trees heal the earth because it provides us oxygen. It helps us breathe. Plants, herbs, they heal. That's how it manifests in the physical, but in the spiritual, you always want to think of that green light. You always want to heal that. You always want to think of that healing energy, that green crystal essence. Is very When I meditate, I
Mm-hmm.
imagine just that green vibrating light, and it's very healing. It's very comforting. It's very soothing.
Mm-hmm.
That's just based on my personal experience, and whoever's
Right.
out there in the audience who's, um, who wants to know, how do I start meditating? What do I need to start meditating? That's a great way to start it. You know, um, because your mind can, when in meditation, your mind can get jumbled up with a lot of thoughts, and if you, I for me, like to clear my thoughts, I just like to think of that vibrating energy.
Mm-hmm.
um as far as chakras or seats, or whatever you want to call it, to activate those, I like to think of the seat chakra and the crown chakra, and which is located at the base of your neck, which is
Mm-hmm.
seat chakra, and then the crown chakra, which is like your third eye, or your mind's eye or pineal gland.
Mm-hmm.
um So it's your pituitary gland and then your pineal gland, if you
Okay.
want to do scientific terms. And I like to focus my green vibrating energy on there. And it's very healing. Even when you have like a physical ailment, like, your stomach hurts, or you have a headache, or you're sick, that green light healing can actually heal your um, physical dis-ease. It's,
Mm-hmm.
it's very, very powerful if you know how to use it.
You envision it, that light.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yep. I think I didn't know. I have a reading a book. I know with um before I read the book, Huni Bakatun was talking about Walifa, and I know Walifa is healing. So I didn't know that the master teacher, Dr. Malachi York, had wrote a book on it. So Huni had shared the book with me, and I was doing what was in the book without even reading the book before, because it takes you step by step on how to heal your body with the green light. It's a really good book.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of reminded me of what you was just saying.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely have to give credit to the master teacher. He he did bring to light about all that stuff because for a long time people weren't necessarily meditating right. I'm
mhm,
not saying there's a right and a wrong way, but really, um, people talk about the kundalini and this these chakras and stuff, but actually, like I said, you have to focus it on your pituitary gland and your pineal gland. You
mhm.
all your other chakras are important, the seats are important, but it's not really your spine that you have to focus your energy on. It's where your mind is.
Right. Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Makes absolute sense.
And then the pituitary gland is actually the feminine energy, and the pineal gland is actually the masculine energy. And it's kind of like channeling the energy on those and balancing those as well.
Balance and both. Wow. Makes so much. That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The balance, the feminine and masculine energy in you.
Yeah, and people try to make out Kundalini as this whole spiritual thing, but Kundalini really simply means your spine. That's all it means. It just means your spine.
Yeah. But you know what? Well, I think we use the word because the energy when you tap into the kundalini, you feel it in your spine. I think that's why the word was used, possibly.
Exactly, yeah. It just means, the energy is felt within your spine. The energy flows within your spine.
Hmm.
Like a kind of, it's like a straight, line of energy, like
Yeah,
a straight shot of
you
energy.
feel
That's
it.
what.
You feel it go up into your crown.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, it's just focusing your energy in certain spots.
yeah. I like this build.
Me too.
It's a difference with just the feminine energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We got baby
That's why,
masculine energy on the side though. Yeah.
that's why we're doing Temple of Ma'at Ray, so people have, in the mornings a place for them to listen, to have that healing energy. Some people need that feminine energy, the healing energy, that
Mm.
nurture.
Always mother. Mother taught first. Mother was the nature first. Yeah. But that was another thing where was his, the topic divine love and growth in divine love. That absence of the mother spirit or the mother energy needs to not happen. That's the problem. Is no balance, and everybody wants to look at the male deities or the male and try to, you know, emulate them or look for them in guidance, but they're not looking at the mother spirit or what they came from. It's your own mother. You know, that's where it's growth. And you know what? A lot of people will understand their level of divine love if they look at how they love their mother, honestly, or the view of their mother, honestly. And, I'm not saying mothers don't make mistakes or, but if they look at the view of their mother and how they honestly feel about their mother, they'll see that is how they view the world, how they view other women in their life, or how they won't want them to be like their mother in a certain way, or
Mm-hmm.
want them to be just like their mother in a certain your jobs, everything, the way you clean your house, everything is surrounded by that original nature, nurturer, your mother.
Mm-hmm. And that divine love, that ashut, is what ties us back. That motherly, ashuk is also what ties us back to our, you know, our our creator in this world, and then the great creator, the creator that created everything in the beginning.
Hmm.
the great cosmic mother in the womb, or being created in the universe, in the black hole, whatever you want to call it. That's a shuk, because we didn't have to be created,
Mm-hmm.
but we were given that creation, that blessing to be breathing, to have a soul, to be having these experiences, to be even have the experience to ascend, to descend, to experience ashuk.
Mm-hmm.
I think in that itself, that's a beautiful thing, that we're even giving that blessing to experience this ashuk.
Yeah. The womb of all wombs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's beautiful how you just put that. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, we got to tap into it. And it's no more than all this stuff. That's why, even with the brother, uh, you know, um, not to poke fun at him, Yashua Bar Dawid.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I talked to him on the phone, and he had a lot of good points. He talks very, very all over the place, and he got his old pimp style, brother style. Look at my shoes, brother. But I mean, I listened to him talk, and a lot of stuff I don't agree with. But then he was saying, like, I heard the truth from what he was saying.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about the books that he has, and the books that he has disagrees with other things, and you know what I'm saying. So I just, instead of the clamor, I heard the chaos, if that makes sense. The birth of what he was talking about. Birth is chaos. So I didn't I wasn't distracted about, and I still don't agree with a lot he says, but I just like that needs to happen so people can hear. And some people will not ever hear, no matter, and that's just their part.
Mm-hmm. We all have a part.
Yeah. What? Yeah, I'm sorry. The kids know I'm on the live, but they still asking questions, and they're mouthing it. They're not saying it. They're like, "Oh, I was about to get my piece, but I'll go." Yeah, yeah. Homeschool life. Mm.
We should have an upcoming episode on, maybe you can talk about your experiences with homeschooling. I'm sure many parents out there would love to know about that.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that. Because I think that a lot of the times, because of work schedules, stuff like that, people, even though they would like to do it, they don't. you know, but it take like that, just that love, like, just that sacrifice, and everything falls into place anyway. But with the homeschooling, um, well, here they have an online course that they could take, like it's a virtual teacher and everything. But they just do the basic classes, mathematic, reading, language arts. They even have an art portion. Then you could I belong to a homeschool network where you also could meet up with other homeschoolers and do activities like go to the museums or go bowling, and so they can still have a social life. But if it was a group of us, like in a city, like it was some girlfriends, I have some sisters, was to get together and once a week, or every other week sometimes. And so the kids can, be around other like-minded children and not, it's then you implement your own stuff. As one of my daughters is dyslexic, what they call dyslexic, but she really reads the natural way, and all of this stuff they like school probably try to teach her, she doesn't compute it the way that they would um
They program her to do it.
Yeah, that she's not a program. You can't program her, so I can't. I wouldn't, And then I have my other daughter. She taught herself Japanese through homeschool. She could speak Korean, Japanese on her own. Like
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah. So it's just very, very. Well, I think it helped because they hear other languages at home, but everybody learns on their own way. It's not no one conformity of how they learn. Like the virtual teacher, really, I'm real more active, interactive. You know, she's just not gonna sit there and teach them. I get to be a part of the classroom.
Yeah.
Or even when I'm doing it with them, we talk about other stuff. We talk about spirituality. We talk about other languages we learn, whatever. And, just doing the mathematics and just makes it better. And then they prepare them
Mm,
for life. A lot of people think that you're sheltering your children, but you should provide a shelter. What's a house?
yeah.
Yeah.
And again, that all ties back to, again, Ashuk, because
Hmm.
it's growth. Like, I feel like in the school systems, you'll find the one, like, a favorite teacher here and there, but it's hard to find Ashuk within
Right.
these school systems because they really do set it up like prisons. Like, it's an actual fact that the architectures who design prisons also
Mhm.
design the public schools. They design like a
Yeah.
prison.
Prison.
It's a mental prison. They don't let you
Yeah.
think outside of the box, out of formation. It's all information, his story, not her story
Mhm.
or our story. It's all programming. They all teach you what they want to teach you. That's why when I came to this knowledge, when I came to the truth, I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've been lied to my whole life." There's no ashuk in that, because ashuk is
Right.
also truth. It's also divine truth. It's not
Mhm.
lies and
Right.
deceiving. It's truth, whether you like it or not. Like, and the truth hurts sometimes, but
Hmm.
it's truth. You can't change the truth, so, like, I wish I was homeschooled. That's why I'm planning to homeschool, my
Hmm.
spring. Like, um I just, I mean, I'm not knocking people who put them in public school systems. Maybe some people might help them, but I just don't think they teach um the truth.
Well, let me add this too. My youngest, my stepson, my husband's son, we raised him. He's here with us, and he was homeschooling for a while, um, and so he was having a hard time focusing, but not really. He just was accustomed to going to school, so we decided to let him go back so he could see the difference. Because before he lived with us, he was going to public school, and most of the time that's what kids get to do what they want to do.
Mhm.
So, and in my opinion, not saying that girls shouldn't have that art, but boys need it a little. If so we decided to go, and now he wants to, he's asking. We knew that would happen. He's asking to be homeschooled again.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Give them their
Yeah.
way. Yeah.
It also, gives you that bond with your offspring.
Hmm.
This is just like, like you said, sheltering, protectiveness. Like, me personally too, I wouldn't trust other people to watch my children, or even if it's a public school or whatever. Like, that's just me.
Hmm.
Like, and
That's why we need to
so
work together. So
many
you
things.
could, like, if you had your own business, you could work, and this sister that you live, and that she's as good with your baby, even if it's disciplining, that you wouldn't be offended by.
Mm-hmm.
That was me. I never with all of my children. I never ever. I'm sorry, sister. I cut you off.
Oh no, you're good. Keep going.
I never. I never was the one to be like, oh my goodness, I got to go to work. I got to do this. No, I made a way to make money from home, and I stay home because that bonding, that nurturing is important. So I was nursing, breastfeeding, you know, disciplining too, because it wasn't just all like, oh baby, you're just the best baby,
Hmm.
you know. But I, but when they cry, no, I would talk to them. You crying, they understand. So not all the time, but you know what I mean. But that bonding needs to happen. Not, did you know how much like it's like a shock to them if they're at a daycare center 8 hours a day, 2 month old, like they have places for 6 week olds.
Yeah.
I found a way
Mm-hmm.
to stay home with my babies.
Mm-hmm. And that's really the indigenous way or the natural way. Like these daycare centers, it's taking us away from nature. The indigenous way, I saw a video about it, but they carry they don't really have strollers. They don't have strollers. They carry their children everywhere. They have their
Mhm.
children close to them, even when they're working in the garden or the fields or prepping food or whatever. They have the children, our offspring, close to them. They co-sleep. They sleep in the same beds. They're very close to their children, and they breastfeed till like um 4 or 5, maybe even sometimes 7 years old. Like they have a very close bond
Mhm.
with their offspring, and I just think that's a beautiful thing and um very inspiring.
Right. I was, people talk about like Jewish people, but when I was in college, I had studied, had to take religion courses for
Mm-hmm.
my major. So you learn about each faith and the things and their cultures and their custom. But the Jewish people, what I admired is that they have a culture part of their um, part of their culture with their children is to always compliment them. And I just thought that was awesome. Even if they're doing wrong, they find the good in it. So, and then that's how I associate it with other stuff. Like that's how they're good business people. They know how to bargain, and. But I thought that was beautiful because how often do you see people when it's a little boy and a little boy with our people, when a little boy is crying, they want him to be quiet, shut up. That's not what boys do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if he can't play with a doll baby, why? He's a father. He'll be a father one day. He might have to hold the baby. He's gay or wants to be. This self, this mental slavery. How you're supposed to be. What? No.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the boys don't know how to nurture or, or be nurturing too. They come from nurture.
Yeah. And I feel like also, you know, it's always a balance, masculine energy and feminine energy. It
Yeah.
just also doesn't always have to be that masculine, like, especially for men. You don't always have to be masculine. It's okay to invest in feminine energy. Feminine energy doesn't mean you become feminine or like a woman. It's nothing like feminine energy, that nurturing energy, the ashuk, the, you know,
Actually, the
the
spirituality, when you fight in yourself, it's feminine.
mm-hmm,
Spirituality is feminine. The great cosmic spirit is feminine.
mm-hmm,
It's not, that's the other part that traps people in not fully stepping into the growth of divine love by looking at it in a physical aspect.
mm-hmm,
Women are the first, if you even think about how, I say this a lot, when we're pregnant, we spiritually know what our body needs. We start craving.
Yeah.
So yeah, we that birth, so you were created in a spirit. Period. You were created in divine love, even on the physical form. So yeah, you need to get out of those mental traps, because the mental traps is the devil or the shaitan.
We need to free our minds.
Yeah.
Free our bodies and our minds, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, their bodies are also trapped too. That there's um they're having jobs, which is another word for persecution. um they're trapped within the money and the materialism and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also mental as well, but their physical bodies also trapped. So what we need to do is master the physical body and the spiritual body, 360 degrees of both,
Right.
which is 720.
Which is why I understand why you guys talk about the health benefits so much of eating, and what you eat,
Mm.
and as well as herbs and other things. You want to touch on that a little bit about how that helps in your growth in divine love, because
Oh,
as you said, physical and spiritual.
yeah, definitely. So yeah, we're gonna be having more upcoming shows that are gonna go more in depth into this, but we it really is true. You are what you eat. And it all, like I said, it all ties in: the physical, the mental, the spiritual. When I Everything has a vibration, right? That apple, that bell pepper, that cabbage, leaves, like living things, it has a high vibration. Things in nature have it. Those plants have a high vibration because it's alive, it's living, it's colorful, it's green.
Mm-hmm.
So when you consume it, ingest it, it it electrifies your body, because your body is also a vibration. It's also high vibe. Well, if you're more in tune, you become more high vibrational, or you're high vibrational being. So when you put those high vibrational foods or herbs or spices in your body, it electrifies your body, because your body is also electric. So that's why we recommend people to, you know, put these nutritious, high vibrational foods in your diet, as opposed to meats, beers, alcohol, coffee. These are kind of acidic, low vibrational foods. For example, meat. So there's not it's a low vibration. It's already it's already dead. If in alcohol, it's people. There's a reason why they call it spirits. It's because it kind of takes over your body, takes over your mind, changes your personality, changes your soul. It kind of takes over you. It turns people angry or delusion. It doesn't make you think straight. Coffee too. It's another um, body altering, mind altering substance. So we want to, we want to put in, again, like high vibrational foods in our body. So that's why we created Netter Foods, to help people transition into a healthy lifestyle. And we're not saying, we're not knocking people who eat meat, who do these things, but for those who are interested in becoming healthier, we're here for that, and we can provide alternatives for whatever dishes, whatever tastes you like. So, for example, if you do like fried chicken, we're experimenting in the kitchen. We're coming up with new recipes every day, that turn plant-based foods into the favorite foods you like, that are not plant-based. Um, Coffee. We even found awesome alternative for coffee. Using herbs to literally mimic the taste and look of coffee. You can even add cream and sugar and everything, and it'll taste just like coffee. But it's not acidic to your body. It's alkalizing. It's electrifying. It gives you nutrition. Boosts your energy just the same without the caffeine. So that's kind of the gist of what we're doing. We're gonna come out with recipes, videos, things like that. We can have cute question and answers with the audience. And yeah, and I also want to add, it's not all about food as well. Food is just one aspect of healing. And like I was talking before, the meditation techniques, the green light energy, that your mindset, you have to have if you want to heal yourself, you have to have that right mindset. You can eat all the health foods you want, but even vegan people still get cancers. There's a quote by Malachi Z, even health nuts still go to the grave. So it's not just about eating, but it's also about the mindset you have.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I'm sorry. That's beautiful. I think it's something that could be implemented in everyday life to just make you a better you. You know what I'm saying? Create you to be a better you. So, what's I really, people have many addictions, and uh, food can be one. And the fear of letting go food, certain foods, thinking you're going to be hungry. You tell yourself you're going to be hungry, so of course you'll be hungry. But then you can use things like nuts and stuff to fill your belly up, or whatever, to satisfy. That's why they say Snickers satisfy, really, because there's peanuts in it that really kills hunger. But yeah. So also, is there anything else you want to say, sis?
Um, well, just, we have a lot of great things coming up for us. I think this was a great first show, great way to start off Temple of Ma'are, give people a taste of what we're about. Like you said, for the children's stuff, we're going to have a children's corner. We're going to have children's stories, comic books, lots of great stuff coming out.
We're covering all areas. We got myself, with do music, and my music is really for healing purposes. It has a little hip hop flair or house flair or something, but it's really, when you listen to it, it should make you feel good to get up moving, you know. So that's the purpose of it. Not saying like I'm a Michael Jackson or nothing, but I make healing music. Um, Also, I have I just keep having a book coming out. Grow to Love is really talking about the divine love in yourself, really. And what I like is how we work cohesively. Like, you guys, it's spiritual and physical, though. It's both on both levels, but with everything that we do. So people need to tune in, to tune up. And so if you don't have anything else to say, sis, or we could tap it up, we could, you know, um, end it for the day, and they can stay tuned to our next broadcast. Will we be broadcasting every day at 9, or is it every Monday at 9?
We can do every day.
We can do every day. We can do every Monday. But we can make this a consistent thing, definitely. I mean, I don't mind doing it every day.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So we could get it. We could get a look at Annie in the back.
And of course, he's gonna have his own show. We're gonna do interviews. Um, it's gonna be good.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for all the stuff that's coming up. Um, oh yeah, you have a documentary coming out. Ellen
yeah.
Wakes is working on documentaries. We just want to bring the truth to people, the healing energy to people. Um,
Mookie.
for the people, we're a platform for the people. It's not just about
Yeah,
me or you. It's about us. It's about everyone.
yeah, it is. I Mookie um has some interesting topics, and we're also going to do the alien fact of the day, or things like that. So we could get, we could play with it, we could have fun, we could laugh, we could do all that. It's for the people, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And
So
we welcome the audience, whoever's listening out there, to reach out to us. If you want us to discuss about a specific topic, if you want to be part of our show, if you have any great insight, or if you yourself have anything exciting going on, we definitely welcome the audience to reach out to us.
yeah,
We'll put our email, our contact information in the description, and we want to be engaging with the audience, and
yeah.
um,
Anyone that has any music, if you want to share some of your techniques of what you do for healing, anything, it's open. We're open. We're WAEO Radio, Atlantic Awake, Alien MCs, or any of our associates are all about healing.
mm-hmm, definitely. But yeah, sis, all in all, it was a really, really powerful, inspiring show. I'm really glad that, we're able to do this together, and I can't wait for more.
Yeah, I love you. I love your family. Period. You guys. You know what? And the other thing is, I just want people to know we did battle.
Mm-hmm.
We did. We had to do that for this to happen. You know, but it was always love because we just kept reaching back. Like, no, you're gonna listen to me today.
Yeah, that's what Agarub Usra family.
Yeah.
That's what family
Open.
is. That's a shoot. That's real a shoot. If people watch what happened, that what happened was like the purest ashuk you can ever get.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
how I feel.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So hats off to you. I love you guys. You guys keep me going. All of the stuff that you guys have been doing and with WAO Radio and Atlantic Awake Publications makes my heart smile. It's just so beautiful. And Mookie is in, he has his own special. I love Mookie. Everybody know I love Mookie.
Mm-hmm. We love.
And yeah, you guys too. And we're gonna get back. We're gonna get it all. We're gonna do it all. And we implore everybody to let's get it out. Let's be the tones that we set out on this planet, on other planets, in the multiverse, in this universe, and whatever. Let's set the tone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I think we pretty much summed it up.
Yeah. All right, sis.
All right. Well, thanks, Fatima.
If
Thanks.
you're welcome.
Uh,
I'm gonna play a list on the radio, on the radio channel. You go to Spreaker.com, at WAEO radio on Spreaker.com. You can listen to our old you can listen to the old, like the interview you did yesterday, you guys did
mhm.
yesterday, and you also, it's music on there. And maybe today, sometime, I'll post another playlist of music to, help, you know, get you through the day.
Okay, that'll be great.
Yeah. All right, sis.
All right.
Wadu.
Wadu.